we're on. Okay, so till now we discussed about standard objects and custom objects and how to create them, and of course that we did in setup. So this is the object manager. So we can see all the standard objects down here, and anything which has underscore C is a custom object, right? So that we covered. Standard objects can have standard fields and custom. You can create custom fields on it. Custom objects also will have standard fields, and you can create custom fields on it. Yeah. And the relationship we have discussed so far is lookup relationship and master detail relationship. Master detail is mandatory. Lookup may or may not be mandatory. Master detail has a cascading delete effect. That means if the parent record is deleted, the child records is automatically deleted. So pretty much we covered all these relationships, and let's see how that looks like. Actually, the table looks like in behind the scenes. So we can already see the table, how the table format looks like in here. It's a list view, and you can create your own lists from here. You can clone this or create a new list altogether. And if you say my account, so something like this. And you can make this list appear only for you, or you can share it to all the users. That means anybody can see this list and use them. Yeah. So here you can add filters. What you want to filter with? Let's not add any filter right now. Filter means you want to see only set of users which has some things inside it. Like you want to keep active accounts only. So account equal to yes. That would be the filters you want to put it forward, right? So and this apart from filters, so let's see all accounts at this point, and you can go ahead and select fields to display, wherein you can go and add whatever you want to. You can remove this and add things. You can reorder this. Yeah, everything you can do. So this is a tabular view. Of course, you are seeing that there are so many fields which we are not able to show because there is so much, right? So this is a snapshot of the whole table. But if you want to see the whole table, of course you can add everything here, but it will be very difficult to see. Usually the admins will not work on this. Admins will work with some specific set of tools. We call them data loader is one of them. We also use Workbench. We also use import wizard. Import wizard directly opens up from here. So if you click on this, basically it is launching the import wizard. You can also launch the import wizard from here. Yeah, data import wizard. So this is the primary tool we'll use today, and we'll talk about it. And you can do the same with data loader, and we can also discuss that. You can find data loader also. Yeah. Loader.io will launch here. So you can launch data loader directly in a separate page, and you can confirm it. And it will ask you to allow. And what is these authorizations? We'll talk about this in detail. So you can do all these basic operations. You can watch these videos. You can perform that if you're finding difficulties, but we'll see this anyway. So data import wizard, data loader. Choice is yours. We also use another very easy tool, which I use most often, is Workbench. Dot. If you have already Salesforce opened in any of the site, then it will not ask you for login. It will just ask you for is allowing, because you're already logged in. So you can see the data from any of these places, and you can work on it. An admin will choose either of these tools to work on data as a whole, right? So whether you're firing it from here, because you are working in bulk operations, that means you are doing a lot of data job. Why will you even load data? We talked. who is the person who is creating data in Salesforce normally? We talked till last class. Shoaib, question to you.
The users,
Normal users.
like, yes, the sales people, the marketing people,
That's correct.
normal people.
The normal users who are basically using Salesforce for their day-to-day job, they are the people who are creating data, right? So why the admin will create data? Admin will create data when there is a need for loading a lot of data. Why there can be a need for loading a lot of data? Probably you have been using Excel sheets for 5 years. Now your company wants to buy, or the selling company wants to buy the Salesforce, and then we have a lot of customers already in house. So will I ask my salespeople to log in every detail? Maybe there can be thousands of accounts on which we are already working. Maybe I have been in business in last 10 years. So it is inhuman for them to ask to load all these data into the system one by one, right? It's not feasible. So at that point, the job will be coming to you as an administrator, that please load my historic data and get my actual business transition on Salesforce. So that is a import. Data loading or data migration would be a necessary for first time loading most of the time. Yeah. Or you want to import some data from any other system into Salesforce regularly. Maybe you want to do every night because there is no connection between that system and this Salesforce. Possible. It can be a legacy system. It does not support integrations and stuff. So you might also need to upload data. So this is a very crucial job for you. So importing of data is actually very important. The most important part now we have to understand how the importing first the operations one by one. So what can be the operations in a table? Once again, a question to Prashun now. What can be the different operations on a table? I'm not able to.
Data import and export, sir.
No. What are the possible operations on a table? So, Ivy, do you want to give it a try?
Sir, the different operations can be in normal Excel sheet that we do. We use summation and
no. What are the basic on a table? What are the basic operations you will do as a let's think about salesman. What can a salesman do?
Data entry. The salesman will enter data and create a record of
Yes, create is one operation. What else?
Editing.
Editing is another operation.
Create operation.
Exactly. So what are we talking here? Create means creating a row, editing a row, deleting a row, right, and reading a row. That's it.
Sir.
These are the four basic operations that is possible in a table. The admin is actually doing only these, but only difference is that a common user is doing these operations on one record at a time. A admin can do on multiple records at a time, right? So let's take one by one. What is the basic operation of create? Which is the most basic operation?
Creating.
No. The basic
reading, sir.
Read. Absolutely. So create is write permission, which means you have additional permissions. The basic permission is reading. You must have the first basic permission is you cannot give a person create access without the read access. Okay, that is in Salesforce. Okay, nobody can create if he does not have a read permission. Nobody can edit if he does not have a read permission. Nobody can delete if he does not have a read permission. Clear? So basic operation or basic permission on a table is a read permission. So let's talk about reading a table in bulk, of course. List view is a reading of table in bulk, right? The same thing we can do here. Let's talk about account. We call this query, okay? This query is Salesforce object query language, okay? It's very easy. I use this tool because it automatically does it for you. These tools don't even need that. I will discuss that. But this tool will help you understand the query very well. So I would recommend to use this tool more often because this will bring you a lot closer to you to your day-to-day job when you understand SQL very well. So SQL is a language through which you can do bulk operations on a table. Okay, let's learn this language. So if you click any of these fields, right, you see these are all fields of the object. Please remember, these are the field names, not the field labels. So when you go into here, when you go to object manager in account, you will see only these in that tool, not these. Okay, so if in UI you are seeing some other name, but the field name is name, okay, account name is not there. So if you search here, you will also see there is a name field. Yeah, but there is no account name field. Okay, so very important. If you, and it automatically generates a query for you. Very easy. Select that field name from table query. See, there are 13 rows of on the table, and exactly that is what we are also seeing here. 13 rows. Clear? Let's see how can we add other. Yes, you can. If you hit the command key, control of your keyboard, and you can use and add some other fields. Like let's see, let's add the ID field. Is very important. What is this ID field? Are we getting ID field here? This is not showing up here, right? ID field is very important, but every record has. If you open any of the record, here on the top in the URL, this is the ID you are basically looking at. ID is a unique combination of characters and numbers, and it is a 18-digit combination, which is uniquely identifying a record in Salesforce. Okay, this will never repeat. So and you will get this in the URL, or you can display this in your page layout also if you want. So why this ID is very important, because all these data operations largely will depend on this ID field, because this is the unique identifier of the record. When you are working with bulk operations, how will you identify different records? You need a unique key to identify different records. That key or that identifier is like this. What is your unique identification, Shoibi?
My name.
No, there are thousands of Shoibi in over the world. There is never a unique identification.
Sir, Aadhaar card number or PAN card?
Aadhaar card number, fantastic, absolutely. So that is the identity number, which is basically uniquely identifying you across the globe. Nobody else will have that number, right? Exactly same. This record is like the Aadhaar card number for this record. Okay, it is very crucial to understand, and so I have just used the and you see it is, you can type it here also. It does not matter. So select ID, name from account, and now we run the query again. So now it is showing up this too. So what we are doing, right? A read operation on a table, and we're exporting it, right? We can do the same in here. Launch wizard. This is an import wizard, so we'll use this for launch operations later, not for extract operations. Here we can export. Okay, you can use this for exporting. Anyway, let's do a small export so that you have idea how to use this one. So account. Similarly, we can choose, right, what to export. ID. What else? We are only exporting name field. That's it. It is a asynchronous process, so it queued. It will happen automatically at some point. In Workbench, it will fire immediately. That's the only difference. Okay. So let's now download this in a CSV file format. What is a CSV? CSV is a comma separated values. So when we do a query, and download is in a CSV. Let's see what happens. Here is the download key, and it is downloaded. You can open this file. Let's rename this and say all accounts. .csv. Comma separated values can be directly opened in Excel, or you can use any tool. Like you have in Windows, you have the Notepad. You can open that and see how it looks like. It's so simple. See, ID comma name, and in every row you have this ID and the name value in quotation and comma separated. A simple file, right? But this works very well, and it opens in Excel also, so you can work in Excel format. I think it is easier to use. Yeah. See, it automatically recognizes it and breaks it into 2 separate columns. It is easier to use. So all accounts, right? No difference. So Salesforce, whatever is storing basically behind the scenes, is exactly the same. So every record, every account has a unique key, that is the ID. I have extracted that. And this is the name field I have imported. So the first operation is read operation, which is absolutely fine. I have done it. All these tools works with CSVs. Okay, so you have to understand CSV very well. Do not save this in XLS format, otherwise it will not work. So CSVs only have one tab. Okay, so please remember that. So what is the next best operation? Next, let's go and do a create operation. How can I create a new row? Just use this file, or let's build a file from scratch. Let's go and new. There was 2 fields, right? ID and name. What do you think? ID is needed for create operation or not? Yes, no, anything?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
It's needed.
ID is needed.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
I
sir.
did.
How will you provide this 18-digit number?
It's automatically generated field, sir.
If it is automatically generated, then you do not need them, right? Do you need to, while importing, do you need to provide this input or not? That is the question I'm asking. I guess no, because
No,
yeah,
no.
you cannot,
Because
right? ID is
since-
generated by Salesforce automatically. That 18-digit number is randomly generated by the system. There's a unique identifier of the key. You cannot generate it. Okay, so there is no need to provide that. So in create operation, only the mandatory fields is the things you have to provide. Other fields, of course, you can give it. So mandatory field, what is, every object will have name as the mandatory field. You have to provide the name. You do not need to provide name if you have made that or changed that name field to auto generated text. If you have done that, then even name field you don't have to provide. Clear? Okay, so now then you don't even need a import operation anyway. So name field, what are we trying to import? Let's see. Test account. Do we have a test account? Test account 1. Let's create some test account 10 test accounts, right? When I save new account, I have to change this to comma delimited, okay? CSV. Please remember this. By default, it will save in XLSX format. Don't use that. Otherwise, it will not be importable. Clear? Now, let's see how it works now. So I go and do an insert operation. You can do this from here also. This is already, I think, done, right? Yeah, it's done. Okay, so let's take an import operation here. insert, choose file. New account. Next. You see, this is the whole mapping. You can provide field values for everything. Anything which is mandatory is in red. So name field, it is looking for. Choose the name field. You see, it is not even asking you for the ID field, right? You can do a map and in confirm insert. Create it. What does it mean? If I go back now to accounts tab and go to all accounts, you see, now it has jumped to 23. It was 13, right? So now we have created 10 more accounts. And this is a bulk create operation. Okay. How do I edit this? If I want to start it from 100 instead of 1, test account 100, and I want to change this name. What I have to do first, I need to get the IDs of these accounts. How will I get the IDs of these accounts, 10 accounts?
From the browser, if you click the record, then it can
So you are saying that if I want to update 100 accounts, I have to click every link and gather this 100 IDs?
No, that's not it. So then from the Workbench, yeah.
Yes, absolutely. A read operation once again. So a SQL query. And I will take this ID and name, download it once again. Let's remove this and rename this to all accounts. You can also choose name starts with S, so that can be done. So now I open it back. I have both ID and name. Which ones I want to update? I want to update only these, right? So I will delete these rows, not needed. And this time I will make it 100. Yeah. And save it once again. In order to make us understand this is what are we doing? Edit accounts. So let's rename this. Go back to browser. This time I'm doing a update operation. Choose file, edit accounts. Next. You see, ID is must now. And automatically it has mapped the ID and name. So you don't have to do anything. If the name, like actual names do match, then Salesforce automatically matches it. Success. Let's verify. Refresh. Yeah, reflecting. So you can update records if you have the IDs with you, right? So now let's delete. What is upsert? Upsert is an operation in which you can perform both insert and update in the same file, using the same file. How can I do that? Let's do an upsert. Open this. And I will just create 10 more accounts. Yeah. So maybe this time I will start from 100 in order to understand that we are really changing it. So I need to update these and I have to create these. Anything which does not have an ID will get created. Anything which does have an ID will get updated. Easy. So I will go to upsert, use my file. ID is mapped, name is mapped, map fields, confirm upsert. See, these records got updated and the rest got created. If I go to all accounts, right? So many accounts got created. Easy, right? Now let's see a delete operation. Let us delete the files which we created so far. Let's delete using a, how will I get a delete operation only needs the IDs. So I have a few IDs with me, but not everything, right? So I do a fresh query once again to get the IDs of all accounts which I want to delete. Usually for edit and delete operations, you will do a query to get all field values. This time we are doing a delete operation. This is delete. Choose file, delete. Next. Only needs the ID, right? Map fields. These are checkboxes. Permanently hard delete records. What does it mean? Just like shift delete, which we do in Windows, right? It does not move that file to recycle bin, right? Or permanent delete forever. You can also do that. But if you're not doing it, by default, Salesforce will have its own recycle bin to store this record for a 10 days period. What is trying to do? Okay. This has some dependencies. That's why it did not delete the rest of the amount. Okay, we basically deleted everything. So all these accounts did not get deleted. The rest of the account got deleted. Let's see how that works. Yeah, these are accounts which are there, and the rest got deleted already. Let's see. Let's see. Just give me a second. Okay. So now I can bring these records back using the undelete operation. Just the same file. And I said map fields, confirm undelete. Some of them are not there in the recycle bin. The rest has been restored back. So let's see. You see, those are back. Okay. Why these are not in recycle bin? Because these did not get deleted in the first place. It was already there. My file still was holding on those records, right? You can go and do a purge operation. Purge means first delete, then cleaning up the recycle bin. In that case, you cannot do any undeleted. Now let's do an operation on contact object. What are the fields which are needed for a contact record creation? Anybody? Nobody created a single contact till now.
Contact name, sir.
Contact name? Have you created a contact? What are the mandatory fields?
Name and last name.
Only the last name. Red star is only of the last name. Rest, nothing is needed. Additional value. Okay. Let's first let's do an operation and see how many contacts are there already. So many contacts are already there, right? I can also do a read operations. But let's start with create operation this time. And I need to create account, the contacts for some account, right? What is the account I should go for? Let's create our account for test account 1000. Okay. How do I make sure that the contact is basically is the child, it becomes the child of this account? Let's go to the contact object. Here you have an account ID, which is a lookup. That is the relationship field which you need to fill up in order to make sure that the contact is related to the account. Otherwise, there is no relationship when you create a new contact. How do I get this value? What does this field store? Actually, this field is storing the 18-digit ID, account ID of that account. Okay. So lookup or master detail actually is storing the Salesforce ID. But when you go into the screen here, if you go to any contact, you see this account name is hyperlinkable. So Salesforce, instead of showing the 18 character on screen, which will not make any sense for a salesperson, it replaces the ID with the name of that record. So that, and makes it clickable so that you can jump into that. Clear? But when you are working behind the scenes as an administrator, you cannot put a name, you have to put an ID. Name can also be used. Let's see how that works. So first, we'll see how we will create an account, contact, and associate that with the account. Which account? We talked about the account 1000. Let's see from a blank workbook. What do I need? Let's have first name. Not needed, but still I will have. Do I need the ID field now?
No, inserting.
Let's create 10 contacts. First name can be the same, last name is different. And I need the account ID. This is the relationship lookup table, which will associate me to the account. So what I need to do here, I will use this one ID, copy this, and I will store it here. I can associate the rest 5 with another account. Let's do that. Let's get another account, maybe 1001. Yeah, this one. This has a different ID. Let's copy that. And we copy this for all the 4. So there are 2 accounts. One is, you see, this Y is different. So the first account will have 5 contacts. The second account will have 5 contacts. That's how I am creating it. Now save it. Change. Don't forget to change to XLS. New contacts. I can go to Workbench, choose the file. Next. Name field. Please remember, if you go to contact, your last name is the actual name field. Yeah. So where in the workbench we will be, did I say contact by the way? No,
So I think account you selected.
I don't know what is. Yeah, so last name is automatically associated. First name, let's put the first name here. An account ID. Let's put map the account ID. That's it. Fields, confirm insert. How will I verify this? You see 0 records. Let's refresh. 5 records created. Same goes with this one. 5 records created. Okay. Can I do with names? Let's see this import wizard. Here also you can import, right? Account and contacts, add new records, match contact by name, match account by name and site. If you do this, you'll see unique values in your data. For example, ID values or email values help Salesforce determine whether this is a new record or an update existing record. In import wizard, you have this ability wherein it can identify that contact already exists or it does not exist, right? And then you can say that I am trying to add new records. So let's go, and email is not there, so name is fine. Match account by, this is name and site. Here now you can basically put the account name and it will do the mapping for you. So that is import wizard can be used for you to do the job using names. Okay, but that will be only for yeah, that is name field you can use to import wizard. Let's see now how we have, but import wizard has a limitation on number of records you can import. If you have millions of data to import and then you have this ID fields one by one, it is not a very like cumbersome process, right? Creating relationship by getting the ID or getting the names, right? Very difficult process. What if I am importing from an existing system, from my Excel sheets, and I want to import it very fast? So how will I create relationships? Because I have to wait for Salesforce to create, and the names is not a good way of approaching, right? There can be names which can be duplicate, particularly for contacts. Definitely there will be duplicates. So name identifier is not good enough. Email ID might work, but cumbersome process. Like what if in your situation there are multiple contacts who are sharing the same email? These are not foolproof ways of uniquely identifying any record. So how the uniquely identifying record is always Salesforce ID. That's the best solution. But Salesforce is controlling that ID and it is generating that ID. What if I want to control it? I want to generate something and I want to use it instead of waiting for Salesforce IDs to be generated. Can I do that? Yes, you can. So for first, what you have to do is that the parent side, whose relationship you have to create in the child object, the parent side should have a special field, okay? And we will call that external ID. Who is the parent here? Account. Here I will create a new field, which is a text field. And I will call it my ID. Into 5 characters. And here is the external ID tick box. It is always a good idea to check this as unique also, because external ID must be unique in order to use it. Okay. So I am adding now this to the Salesforce. Let's now create or give an external ID or import some external IDs into Salesforce. How can I do that? Let's see how this becomes so easy now in step-by-step process. Like I go to Excel sheet once again. I want to have my own data. So let's see, name. I will have this external account 1. Let's create 10 external accounts. Here I have to provide my ID. My ID is a custom field, that's why it will always have an underscore C. You can give it, you may not give it, it does not matter. You have to map this field. If you use the actual same name, in that case, it will automatically map. So external ID, let's put 100 here. I have given my own ID. Let me save this Excel sheet as a CSV file, of course, right? $100 and $200. Let's create now 20 contacts. Sorry, 10 contacts each for this account and 10 contacts for this account. What will I do? I will now just insert another column here. Say this is the first name. Make this the last name. Here, instead of my account ID, I am doing account ID. And first name is test. Just keep the same pattern. And maybe external last one. And so now let's save this as my new contact. Save as external contacts and CSV file. So I have created 2 files now. External accounts and external contacts, right? And did I put the values? So, yeah. So right now in account ID, I have given one, the account, I will use the one. I can just create 5 contacts for this account and make it 200 for this. Yeah, and save it. So I am creating five contacts each and for account 1, and I'm using this time. I am using my own ID. Can I use it? Will Salesforce allow me to use that? Let's see. So I am trying to insert it. I am going to insert contact. First, let's insert the account. Name field will map. You have to log back, check, log out and log back in order to get to that new field, because it's added a new field. Okay. Open Workbench once again. Log back in. And now go to insert account. And my ID is already mapped. So map field, confirm insert, created. So I have created now 10 accounts And let's see how can I create. So it is becoming very fast now. I can straight away, can I jump to creating contacts? I don't even fetch the Salesforce IDs. So what I will match, the name is, sorry again. Contact. What is the file? External contacts. Last name is matched. This match the first name. In account ID, I am giving account ID. Map fields. Will it allow me to insert? No. Malformed ID means it is expecting a Salesforce ID, but you are providing your own ID. How to tell him that I am providing my own ID? And can you please replace that with Salesforce IDs? We have to provide that instruction. So whenever you insert the text, you have account ID and the first name is also there. Here you have a smart lookup. I choose that external ID now to tell Workbench that I am providing you the value of my parent's external ID. Please replace this with Salesforce IDs when you do the insert. And there you are. It is great. Let's verify this. External contacts. This one. You see, these are all associated with accounts, the correct accounts. External contact one got associated with the correct account. By using my ID, I didn't even put any Salesforce ID in the picture. So external ID is very important for data uploading because that's the way in which we can fast upload data, create relationships without using Salesforce IDs. Clear? So we don't have to go and fetch. We eliminated one step of fetching Salesforce IDs from Salesforce. So it is very important for you to understand two tables once again. Let's go back to that table. In this table, where this can be your external ID or this can be Salesforce ID, doesn't matter. This ID is basically the record ID, which is unique in another table, right? In this table, this is unique. If it is a Salesforce ID or external ID, doesn't matter. In this table, it has to be unique. It is unique if you are using Salesforce. So that is a primary key in a table. Whatever is uniquely identifying a record is called a primary key of that table. That means Aadhaar card number for you or a passport number, right? When you travel with your passport to a different country, you are still uniquely identified, but you are called a foreigner, right? So your unique identifier, that means your ID, in a foreign soil, uniquely identifies you, but it's not applicable or that is not unique in their country because it does not care for it. So in contacts, contact is also has an ID field, right? Then you can fetch it. Every table will have an ID field. That is uniquely identifying this. But here, the relationship is not unique, right? Relationship can be multiple, one-to-many relationship. So this can repeat. So a unique identifier is not unique in a different table. The unique identifier of this table will repeat in another table. Okay, but that is how this column will then be called a foreign key. This is called a primary key. ID field or external ID field will be called primary key. In a separate or a child object, that ID when used in lookup or master detail will be called a foreign key. Clear? The concept is clear. why it is called a foreign key.
স্যার আরেকবার একটু বলুন না।
The primary key of the parent, when is used in relationships creation in the child object, is called a foreign key. That column is called a foreign key. The primary key of one table becomes a foreign key in another table, right?
ওকে স্যার।
Because this 5 records are uniquely identifying themselves, associating themselves with this account. So this is unique, but in this table this is not unique, right? In this table basically this column is called a foreign key, but in this table it is unique. It will only appear once. In this table it will not appear once, it will appear multiple times, but this is a primary key of a different table. That means in this table it is called a foreign key. That means foreign key will always be created at the child side or the side which is creating relationship with another table. Account is the parent because account does not have a relationship. Any table which has a relationship field like a lookup or parent master detail will be called a child, and that column is a foreign key. Clear?
Yes sir.
It is time for you to now understand the assignment. I will be not taking the class next week. I'm traveling today to Sydney. I will be back on next Sunday. So we'll resume the classes a week after. So you will have plenty of time to finish this assignment, and we'll continue building up on this assignment as we go with our next sessions. But this assignment completion is absolutely essential in order to proceed further with our classes. Okay. This will check your understanding so far. If you are not understanding so far, then there is no point of adding more classes at this point. Okay. So it is very vital that you understand the assignment. I will share this sheet to you. You can look at this assignment. Not everything is needed for you to do, but so far, let's do one thing. You will create a new app. What is new app? Here in app launcher, I have to see a new app. I can type it here. There is no film industry app, right? I want you to create a new app. Create a new app called film industry. It will have 2 tabs. Just like here, there are so many tabs. A film app, film industry app will have 2 tabs. What tabs? Film and actor tab. Okay. Film. What is the relationship between film and actor in common world? So is it a one-to-one relationship?
One-to-one.
Huh?
One-to-many
One-to-one.
relationship, sir.
In one film, multiple actors will work, or multiple actors will work, or one actor will forever work in one film?
Multiple actors will work
Multiple
on
actors
multiple
will.
films.
What is the relationship between film and actor?
Many to many.
Huh?
Many to many, sir.
Why many to many?
Because sir, a single actor can work on many films at the same time. That's why.
Okay. That
Or
is
many actors,
actor to
many
film
actors.
is one to many. And go ahead.
And many actors can work in many films, and many films can have many actors. So that's
That
why
is
many
not
to many.
definition of many to many relationship. What is the definition of many to many relationship? How will I say that film and actor is many to many relationship? Many to many relationship means both sides, it will be one to many relationship. Let's verify that. Can one film have multiple actors?
Yes, sir.
That is, film to actor is one to many relationship.
Yes, sir.
Can one actor act in multiple films?
Yes, sir.
That means actor to film is one-to-many relationship.
Yes.
So
sir.
it is one-to-many relationship from both sides. That means it is a many-to-many relationship. Many actors can work in many films is not a definition.
Okay, sir. I get that.
Got it?
Yes, sir. Yes, absolutely.
One single actor can work in multiple films. One film can contain multiple actors. Simple. That is why it is a many-to-many relationship. How many objects do you need in Salesforce for this kind of a relationship?
Junction object.
Sir, একবার একটু বলুন, sir.
In order to create a many-to-many relationship, how many objects do you need in Salesforce?
2, sir, and one mapping
Can
table.
you do a many-to-many relationship between two objects in Salesforce?
No, sir.
No.
Directly, we cannot create many-to-many relationship. We need a mapping table.
Then why are you saying two objects?
3, sir.
Three. What is the third object called? So there will be two objects, definitely. One is called film, one is called actor.
Yes, sir.
And you will create, that means both are custom objects, right? You will create
Yes,
this
sir.
object. What is the third object called? What will you name that third object?
Film actor, sir.
Film actor. Okay, very good. You can name it film actor, you can name it actor film, doesn't matter. These are two parents of that mapping object, right?
Yes, sir.
How will you create the mapping object?
I forgot, sir.
Anybody else?
Yeah, in that object need to have these two fields, which will be lookup fields with both the parents.
Great, fantastic. So I would need a third object which must have lookup fields to film and actors. You can also have master detail if you want. I would suggest to use master detail. Okay.
Okay, sir.
You can only create two master detail in a field. So create master detail field because why? Because film actor record does not have any significance without the film or the actor record. Okay. So we don't want to keep that record in orphan state or orphan state. So create two master details in that. When there are two master details on an object, that mapping table is called a junction object. Clear? Okay. The benefit of using a junction object is you can do a roll up, and we'll come and discuss this at a later date. But let's cover roll up. And are you guys overburdened already, or can you? Do you want to see roll up summary?
Yes, sir, we want.
You want? Okay, cool.
Yes, sir.
Let's see what is a roll up summary.
Animesh, can I ask a question?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, actually, before we go to that roll up, see, for the imports, we have seen these three utilities or three tools: data import, data loader, and this workbench. So, I mean, is there any specific test case or like any specific scenario like where we need to use this specific one, like for this purpose? No.
The only reason you might have to choose one after instead of another is just when you have a number of records. So these three tools have different record limits. So if you are going probably beyond 5 million records, then you have to use data loader, because these two other tools will not be able to handle it.
All right, thank you.
You can check the number. I just don't remember the last figure right now which they have. But the idea is import wizard can only, I think, support
50,000, no?
50,000. Yeah. So if you're going beyond 50,000, definitely you have to use either Workbench or data loader. If you're going, I think, over 5 million, then you have to use data loader. There's another way. Okay. So now let us see what was the last object we created. The last object we created was application. Master detail can only be created on. Let's make this a master detail 2. So now this becomes a junction object. Two master detail. In account, I want to now go and I want to create a roll-up summary. Roll-up summary can only be created at the parent of a master detail parent. Okay, not on a lookup. You cannot create a roll-up summary on a lookup relationship. Clear? So here now I am trying to create a roll-up summary. This is roll-up summary. What I want to, I can do many things. I can do counting. I can do summation of any field value of my child. I can do minimum or maximum. There are 4 things which I can do. Just let's name it a roll up. You see, these are the 4 things. Which object I am trying to roll up? Applications. Application does not have any field to do a summation. Yeah, it needs a number field in order to do these things. Right now, it is only counting the number of childs there. Next. You can filter out some records also if you want. Okay. So now I have created a roll up. And if I now go and check any account, like test account, this roll up is showing 0 because I don't have any applications on it, right? Let's see if I create a application. Automatically update to 1. You see, it will automatically update. You cannot edit it. Okay. It is a automatic calculator on your child records. Now, what if I in the application I add something called amount, a currency field, I mean numeric field also. Let's name it fee. Done. This is one application. Let's add another application. Let's refresh it because I'm not able to see this new fee value. Yeah, got it. Test app. Let's put $100. Roll up has not changed because I have not corrected the roll up. Let's go back to our roll up in account. Let's change this to now summation of the fee field. I can also do a min max, whatever. Look, let's go back, refresh the screen. Now the roll up will show $100. I had 2 applications, right? One with a fee and one did not have a fee. Can I change the one which did not have a fee? Let's add $200. So now I have one application with $100, one application with $200. What should show up in roll summary?
$300, sir.
Clear? Great. So now back to our assignment. These are the values you must use, and I will share this link to you guys. Let's share this right away. I'm putting this on chat. Can you test it out, all that you have access to this or not?
Access denied, sir.
Access denied. Okay.
Send for the
What is your
request.
Gmail ID?
shoibithod@gmail.com. Shall I write it in the
Please put your Gmail IDs on chat. Let me add you guys on this. Let's discuss the assignment till now. So what is the assignment? So Lightning app, one, create a new app. It should be named film industry. Do not do anything else. What I am saying, just make sure everything which is mentioned in the requirement, exactly that it is done. Okay. Tabs should be film and actor. You are creating 3 objects as we discussed, because this is a many-to-many relationship. So the first tab called film will have a name field with these values. 4 records. It will have a production budget. That field will be currency type. We'll put these values. Clear?
Yeah.
Under the okay, let's go to actor. I need these 4 actors in this table, and this table will have 2 columns, like first name and last name, but similar to OnDAC. Yeah, check how contact has been done and use the same thing. Okay. In the film, a actor is paid, right? Ranbir Kapoor is getting paid 10 crore and 20 crore for Barfi and Tamasha. Right? So first we have to create a relationship between. So in the related list of Barfi, I want to see Ranbir first name, last name, and Priyanka Chopra's first name, last name in the related list. What is the related list? Here. I want actors to be shown up, the names of the actors who are working on this film. Clear? Ranbir and Priyanka will show up under Barfi. Under Bajirao, 3 people will be showing up. Under Ramlila, 2 people will be showing up. Under Tamasha, 2 people will be showing up. Okay?
Yeah.
In actors, I want to see these actors are working on which films. So it will show Barfi and Tamasha, Barfi and Bajirao, these 3, and this 3. Clear?
Yes.
These data should not be created manually. You will be creating CSV files and only upload data. All the 3 tables must be uploaded using CSVs. So you will save the CSVs and show me what you have done. Easiest would be to use data import wizard for this. Then you can create relationship using name. Try that out. Okay. You don't have to get into the complexities of Salesforce ITs, because relationship will only be created by the mapping table. So mapping table you have to create. Whenever you insert into mapping table, related list will automatically show it. Clear? Now, this actor, Ranbir Kapoor, is getting 10 crore and 20 crore for these 2 films. His salary field will you create in which object of the 3 objects?
This field should be in the junction object.
Sorry?
This field in the junction object.
Why in the junction object? Why not on the actor object? Why not on the film object?
because if we keep it in the junction object, then it is like segregated, like for which film, for which actor, how much money, how much
Absolutely.
salary.
Absolutely, because junction object is the only table wherein I have information of the film as well as the actor.
Right.
That's why I will create a salary field in my junction object, and I will store these salaries. Again, these data must be part of your CSV. Yeah, no annual update.
Okay.
Everything which is in white color needs to be part of CSV. Here also, this is part of CSV. Everything in white needs to be part of CSV and needs to be uploaded. Okay. Now let's see. In actor, I want to have a number of film count. How many films he is working on? What kind of field will I create for this?
Roll up.
Roll up. Great. So create a roll up for showing the number of film count.
Animesh, can we just create multiple roll up? Let's say in one field showing film count,
Yeah.
another is total,
Yeah.
right?
Sure, you can.
Because one function at a time in a roll up.
Yes,
right?
that's correct. One field will only handle one function.
Mhm.
So in actor, I in the film also I want to see what is the actor count.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And in this exactly asking your questions, I also want to see the actor's total salary. So combined salary of all the actors.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Right.
So I want to see this. So how will you do this too?
Multiple roll up.
Multiple roll-ups, right? 2 roll-ups.
Yeah.
One is a count roll-up, one is a sum roll-up, isn't it?
Mhm.
That is your assignment. The rest part we'll gradually add as we go forward and learn more about the rest. These are formula fields. We'll talk about formulas in the next class, and then we'll give the assignment for these two. And this is validation rule. When we learn about validation rule, we'll talk about this. And then we'll learn about flows, in which we'll talk about the rest of the stuff. So more to learn and more to add to this assignment. So far, you need to only complete till column E in film and A, B, C, E, and F for actor. Okay. Ignore D. Ignore. I will just like cart and try to insert. Yeah, remove this. Yeah, now it is easy. So only this four part. You have to complete till ABCD in actor and in ABCDE in film. Clear? Any questions?
No.
Have a nice day and a nice weekend. I will add you guys into this link. Kindly stay back till you verify your accesses. Please check your accesses, please.
Yes, sir. Available.
You're available? Great, fantastic.
Yes, sir.
I can't get the link, sir.
Sir, I
The
got
link
them.
is there in the chat. Here,
I got the access, sir.
got it? Great. I will share the link in WhatsApp also.
Yes, sir.
If you have any queries, you can call Angshita, who is part of this group, who is the dedicated mentor for you. But don't ask her how to do the assignment.